Okay, if you go to the handout, you see there is a section on etiologies in physical theme. Or first, just let me go. Yeah, go to this: mental etiology, psychic manifestations. You know, the cause of phosphoric acid is very important. So for symptoms to develop, you need the etiology or the causation in the background. Few important, you have this in the handout? Okay. You see, disappointment of love. This is a very important cause for phosphoric acid. Bad effects of disappointment, bad effects of being hurt by others. Death. Some death of somebody very close, you know, death of a relative. I'll come to the manifestations later on. Death of family. Embarrassment and humiliation. He was humiliated, he was embarrassed, being hurt by someone. So embarrassment and humiliation. Homesickness, very important for phosphoric acid again, homesick.
Can I take this?
Living far away from family, living far away from friends. So homesick, that's also another very important aspect of phosphoric acid.
Yeah, for me, I don't have home. I take this one.
So how will you feel homesick?
My home is everywhere.
So homesick is important. Loss, you see I've mentioned the word loss, loss in business, loss of death, loss of relationship. So again, loss is an important word. So all these causations in the background, if you see silent sufferers of grief, worries. So they have had a disappointment, maybe personal, maybe professional, there is a disappointment. And as a consequence of that for phosphoric acid, one of the most important reactions is indifference. They become apathetic, they become indifferent, they lose all interest in daily activities. I loved gardening. I lost my son 1 year back. I have stopped gardening since that. I used to love playing the piano. My wife died 2 years back. Since then I have stopped playing the piano. So those things that used to be of most interest to him, that used to be of most affection to him, he has lost interest in those activities. You know, that's the indifference. Those things that appeal to you, you have certainly lost interest in those activities, in those desires, in those hobbies, and that's your phosphoric acid. You understand what I mean? That's the indifference of phosphoric acid. I used to love cooking, I used to love painting. You know, think of a phosphorus who is very attractive, very artistic, very creative. She suddenly got a disappointment. A husband died or a child died. And that attractive, that artistic, that extrovert phosphorus, now she becomes indifferent. She used to love painting, she has stopped painting. She used to love gardening, she has stopped gardening. And that's the reaction, how a phosphorus transforms into a phosphoric acid.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the apathy, that's the indifference of phosphoric acid. Second thing, what can affect for phosphoric acid? Remember, for all acids, the key word is debility, weakness. All acids, the key word is weakness, debility. Like you remember for Kaylee's as well, the key word was debility. Also for acids, these are the two groups where the key word is weakness. Kaylee group, acid group. You understand what I mean? Weakness. And for phosphoric acid, you can get physical weakness, you can get emotional weakness. How will you understand emotional weakness? Mental weakness? You look here, this line. Disoriented.
That's Sarah.
You know, the memory, the concentration, the focus, the motivation, it's all blurred. They cannot focus. They do not have any motivation. Think of a young girl who has a 15-year-old who has just lost her father. And she can't focus anymore. She doesn't know what to do in life. No motivation. Lack of focus, lack of motivation. Lack of concentration. Can't concentrate at school. Can't memorize at school. So focus is affected, motivation is affected, memory is affected, concentration is affected. And that's the reaction of mental weakness, mental debility. Patient won't come and tell you that I am mentally weak. They will tell you, I can't focus anymore in my work. I can't concentrate for long hours. So you see, you put cause on one hand and you put the reaction on the other hand. The cause is grief, the cause is disappointment, the cause is humiliation, embarrassment. Homesickness, living, I can give you hundreds of examples. I'm living far away from my home. I'm living in a hostel. For studying in the university, away from home. I miss my parents, I miss my own environment. I'm gradually lose apathy. My friends are inviting me for a party. I don't want to go. Apathetic. I can't focus at work. I can't focus for my projects. Lack of focus. You understand what I mean? So A, what is the reaction? Indifference. B, lack of focus, lack of concentration. That's the mental weakness for phosphoric acid. You understand what I mean? You see, mental debility. This is the word for. You have this in the handout? Let's go to previous page, I think. Yes. Mental debility, the top hexagon. Page 21. You see, mental debility first, followed by physical debility. So, you'll find as a reaction of this, the emotionals get affected first. So the memory, concentration, that gradually dims out. Then the physical plane affects. What we call as, in today's world, a psychosomatic disease, right?
Yeah.
Starts in the mind, goes to the body later on. Psychosomatic. They can't remember, they can't concentrate as a consequence of grief, as a consequence of disappointment. So mental debility followed by physical debility. Apathetic, that's also important, phosphoric acid. Apathy. If you think of other medicines you have done gelsemium. Apathy as well. Dull. But gelsemium's apathy is more related with any neurological problem. Like tremor, with a headache, there is apathy as well. Dull, dizzy, drowsy, debility, apathetic. With any neurological or any migraine related problems, that is more gelsemium's apathy. There's some motor problems as well in gelsemium. Remember gelsemium? Apathy. You have apathy in sepia as well, right? But you understand the background for sepia is completely different. In a woman who is having stasis in her life. Remember, the key word for sepia is stasis. So there is no movement, there is always boredom. So she can't interact, she can't have anything new. So stasis in the life causes apathy. But in case of sepia, always remember, sepia's apathy is mingled with irritability. With gelsemium, with phosphoric acid, you won't have irritability. But in case of sepia, the indifference is mixed with irritability. The child is playing with the drums. Mother comes, throw it away. That's the irritability of sepia. So whenever you find patients telling you, I don't, in your language, I'm apathetic, I'm indifferent. Always remember these three are your top medicines. We'll do conium later on, another medicine for apathy, but so I'm not comparing now. But these are real good apathy medicines. Indifferent. Natmur is more introvert, not indifferent. Introvert is whatever relations I have, I will hold them strongly. But I don't want anyone new in my life. Like Natmur, if she has a nice wife, nice children, she will hold on to the relationship, but doesn't want anyone new. That's introvert. That's Natmur. Whatever the relationships Natmur has, she treasures those relationships. But sepia is indifferent. That means I don't love my children anymore. I don't love my husband anymore. Whatever relationships I have, I don't even care for them. That is indifferent. That is sepia. So you won't associate the word apathy more with Natmur, because Natmur has a wall around her. Whoever is inside the wall, that's fine. I don't want anyone from outside to come in my world. That's not me. But in case of sepia, sepia is indifferent. So always differentiate with that two words. Introvert for nat mu, indifferent for sepia. All right? So you see, mentally debility followed by physical debility. Apathetic. Lies like a log. What is a log? What is a log?
A log. It's a trunk of a tree that lies.
Piece of a wood. Does a piece of wood move by itself? No. Even if there is an earthquake, phosphoric acid is
a log.
like this.
Okay.
It's difficult to move them. They're oblivious of the surrounding. They don't care about what is happening. Even there's a volcano, there's an earthquake, there's a tsunami in the background, they'll just be there. They've lost all interest in the worldly activities. That's the indifference. They've cut off from everything. Here so many people, like especially after a grief, very close one, you lost a very close person in your life. And after that, doesn't watch TV, doesn't read the newspaper, doesn't go for walks. Earlier he used to do those things. All the things they used to enjoy, used to cherish. They used to love cooking, have lost interest in those activities. That's the indifference. That's the reaction of indifference of phosphoric acid. That's why never forget that line. Indifference to those things that used to be of most interest to him. Those things that used to be of most interest, he has lost interest in that. That's the indifference. You're with me? So apathetic, indifferent.